It's bigger than you think! Alright, let's talk about WordPress. You might think of it as just a simple tool for your buddy's blog, that local pizza place's website. And you wouldn't be wrong, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. WordPress powers a massive chunk of the internet. We're talking over 40% of all websites. That's not just small blogs, it's huge e-commerce stores, major news outlets, even government sites. When something powers that much of the web, its security isn't just a small-time issue, it's a global one. A single tiny vulnerability can affect millions of people, making it a playground for folks with bad intentions. So why should you, a tech enthusiast, care about hunting for bugs in it? Because it's one of the most accessible and impactful ways to dive into the world of cybersecurity. Think of it like this: every plugin, every theme, every line of code is a potential puzzle waiting to be solved. Finding a bug isn't about being a hacker in a dark hoodie, it's about being a problem solver. Before you can start hunting for bugs, you need to set up your lab. This is your safe space, your digital workshop. The most important rule here is, never, ever test on a live website. Only test sites you own or have explicit, written permission to test. Doing otherwise is a fast track to serious trouble. Instead, we'll build a local WordPress environment. Install, modify, and break WordPress safely. First step, get a local server stack. XAMPP, MAMP, WAMP server, they bundle everything you need. Apache, MySQL, PHP. Download the installer for your OS. Windows, Mac OS, Linux, then run the setup. In minutes, you'll have a web server running locally. Go to wordpress.org, not .com, and download the latest zip. Unzip into your web directory, 8docs or www. Open your browser, go to your local address, and run the WordPress 5-minute install. It will ask for database details. Use phpMyAdmin to create them. Simple process. You get a clean WordPress site to play with. Now populate your test site. The real action is in themes and plugins. Install popular plugins, old outdated plugins, and brand new plugins. Create a realistic complex environment. More moving parts equals more surfaces to inspect. Your local battle station is ready for your first mission. Alright, your lab is set up. You've got a local WordPress site humming away on your machine. Now what? You don't just start randomly clicking buttons and hoping a security flaw pops up. The first phase of any good hunt is reconnaissance or recon. This is where you act like a detective, gathering as much information as you can about your target. The goal is to understand the technology stack, identify potential entry points, map out the entire application. Start by identifying the versions of everything running on the site. You can often find this in the source code of the site's homepage. Just right-click and view page source. Look for a meta tag like meta name, generator content, WordPress, and the version number. Many sites hide this, but it's always the first thing to check. Next, figure out what theme is active. Figure out what plugins are active. Inspect the paths to CSS and JavaScript files in the page source. Look for /wp content /plugin /some plugin name or /wp content /theme /some theme name. For each one, try to find its version number. Sometimes this is appended like style.cs $vert =1, 2.3. If not, check the plugin repository changelog, check WPScan vulnerability database, check CVE details. This research can sometimes hand you a vulnerability before any active testing. Finally, map out user roles and permissions. A standard WordPress site has different levels of access. Subscriber, contributor, author, editor, administrator. Create accounts for each role on your local test site. Log in as each one and just click around. See what menus you can access and what actions you can perform. Enumeration helps identify insecure features and maps the attack surface per privilege level. Knowledge is power. In bug hunting, it's your primary weapon. With your recon complete, it's time to get your hands dirty and start actively looking for bugs. We'll focus on a few of the most common vulnerability types you'll find in the WordPress ecosystem. These are the usual suspects, the flaws that pop up time and time again in poorly coded plugins and themes. The first and perhaps most prevalent is cross-site scripting, or XSS. This happens when a website allows user input to be displayed on a page without properly cleaning it first. An attacker can inject malicious JavaScript code, which then gets executed by the browsers of unsuspecting visitors. So where do you look for XSS? Anywhere a user can input data: comment forms, search bars, user profile fields, contact forms, plugin. On your local test site, try entering a simple JavaScript payload like script alert open parenthesis, single quote XSS single quote close parenthesis script into every input box you can find. If you submit the form and a pop-up box with the text XSS appears, you've found a vulnerability. It means the developer isn't sanitizing the input correctly. This is the most basic test, but it's a fantastic starting point. Next up is SQL Injection, or SQLI. This one is a bit more serious. It occurs when an attacker can interfere with the queries that an application makes to its database, posts, users, passwords. These vulnerabilities often hide where the website uses parameters in the URL to fetch data. For example, example.com/products?ID equals 123 might be vulnerable. To test for SQLI, try manipulating that ID parameter. Try changing it to 123 single quote. If the page throws a database error or behaves unexpectedly, it's a strong sign it might be vulnerable. More advanced tests involve using specific SQL commands to see if you can make the database do things it shouldn't, like returning extra data. Be careful with this one, as it can mess up the database on your test site. That's why we have a safe local environment to play in. You can find a lot of bugs manually, just by poking around with a web browser, but to be really efficient, you need the right tools in your arsenal. Think of it like building a PC. You can try to do it all with a single screwdriver, but having a full toolkit makes the job faster, easier, and much more enjoyable. The first tool every web bug hunter needs is a web proxy. My go-to, and the industry standard, is Burp Suite. There's a free community edition that is incredibly powerful. A web proxy sits between your browser and the internet, intercepting traffic. You can pause, inspect, and modify requests before they reach their destination. This gives you superpowers. You can see every request and response. You can insert payloads directly into raw HTTP data, bypassing client-side filters and testing things in a much more powerful way. Another absolutely essential tool is WPScan. It's a command line scanner specifically designed for WordPress security. Point it at a WordPress site and it will enumerate versions, active plugins, theme, users, and cross-reference with a vulnerability database, saving you hours of research. Finally, don't underestimate the power of your browser's own developer tools. Press F12 or right-click and inspect. Element shows live HTML, CSS, the console shows JS errors, and the network tab reveals API endpoints and data flows, fundamentals for every researcher. Mastering these built-in tools is a fundamental skill that will serve you well in any kind of web development or security work. Web proxy, Burp, Scanner, WPScan, DevTools, your first line of investigation. With the right tools, reconnaissance and active testing become far more efficient and far more effective. Okay, so you've done it. After hours of methodical testing on your local setup, you've found a legitimate security vulnerability. Your first instinct might be to post about it on Twitter or a forum. I'm telling you right now, don't do that. What you do next is one of the most important parts of being an ethical security researcher. It's called responsible disclosure. Report the bug directly to the people who can fix it, the developers, and give them a reasonable amount of time to do so before you tell the public. Start by looking at the plugin or themes page on the official WordPress repository. There's often a support forum or a link to the developer's website. If you go to their website, look for a dedicated security page or a specific email like security@developer-domain.com. If you can't find one, a general contact form or support email is your next best bet. The goal is to get your report into the hands of the development team without broadcasting it to the world. When you write your report, be as clear and detailed as possible. Example, a well-written, clear, concise vulnerability report email. Remember, the developer receiving this might not be a security expert. Your job is to help them understand the problem. Provide a step-by-step guide on how to trigger the bug, including exact URLs, input fields, and the payload you used. Start with a clear title. Include screenshots or even a short video if you can. The easier you make it for them to confirm the bug, the faster they'll fix it. Always maintain a professional and helpful tone. Be patient. Developers are often busy and it might take them a few days to respond. It's standard practice to give them a reasonable time frame, typically 90 days, to release a patch. After they confirm the bug and release a fix, you can coordinate public disclosure. By following this process, you ensure users are protected, you build a positive reputation, and you contribute to the security of the entire WordPress ecosystem in a constructive way. As you start your journey into bug hunting, you're going to make mistakes. Everyone does. It's part of the learning process, like accidentally deleting a critical system file when you're new to an OS. The key is to learn from these common pitfalls so you can avoid the big headaches. The number one mistake: Testing websites you don't have permission to test on. It doesn't matter if your intentions are good. Unauthorized testing is illegal in many places. Always stick to your local environment or official bug bounty programs. Use official bug bounty programs that give you a safe harbor and rules of engagement. Another common blunder is poor reporting. Excitement can make reports vague or demanding. Avoid, your plugin is hacked, fix it now. Bad, I found an XSS. Good, provide a clear technical explanation and reproduction steps. Provide a proof of concept, it's essential. Don't get stuck hunting only one bug type. XSS, SQL, IDOR, CSRF. Diversify. Learn a new vulnerability class each week, read about it, understand it, then test on your local site. Bug hunting is a grind. Days or weeks of testing might yield nothing. That doesn't mean you're failing. Every hour testing is learning. Persistence is your most valuable asset. The next bug could be just around the corner. Don't quit 5 minutes before you find it. Keep going. Finding your first couple of bugs is an amazing feeling, but it's just the beginning of your journey. The world of technology and security is constantly changing. New versions of WordPress are released, new development techniques become popular, and attackers invent new ways to break things. One of the best ways to keep learning is by reading the work of other researchers. Follow them on Twitter and subscribe to blogs. When a major vulnerability is disclosed, dive deep into the technical write-up. How did they find it? What tools did they use? Trying to understand and replicate their findings on your own local setup is an incredible learning experience. Sites like HackerOne's Hacktivity feed are a goldmine. Don't just read, get your hands dirty with practical challenges. Interactive labs like Portswigger Web Security Academy, OWASP Juice Shop, and CTF competitions are ideal for practice. Finally, get involved in the community. Join forums, Discord servers, or local meetups. You don't have to learn in a vacuum. Ask questions, share responsibly disclosed findings, and teach others what you've learned. It's a powerful way to solidify knowledge. The more you engage, the faster you'll grow. Keep learning, practicing, and experimenting. CTFs test your skills under pressure and teach new techniques. Pair up, compete, and learn from others. Share your responsibly disclosed findings and teach others. It's how the community improves and how you build credibility. So, where does this all lead? You've set up your lab, you've learned the common vulnerabilities, you've mastered your tools, you're continuously leveling up, you've gone from curious beginner to a capable bug hunter. For some it's a rewarding hobby, for others it's a career. Penetration tester, application security engineer, security researcher. Your portfolio of responsibly disclosed vulnerabilities beats a certificate. It's tangible proof you can do the work. Companies want people who can think like an attacker. The skills you've developed are transferable. The journey of a security researcher is perpetual growth. No final level, no end game. Every new plugin or core update is a fresh puzzle. It rewards curiosity, creativity, and persistence. Keep experimenting, keep learning, keep reporting. The WordPress ecosystem and the internet need more people like you, willing to look a little closer and build a more secure future for everyone. Now go out there and find some bugs. Be responsible, be persistent, be curious. The internet will be safer because of you.